this is the foundation for bodhicitta.
산주 근데 삼바다 닌지들라 락삼드미나 아니 산주 셈데 또바다 제토고 말해.
But without love and compassion and then this extraordinary selfless altruism, there would be no way to develop the final state of mind, which is the bodhicitta.
요새 빼나 열 심신 동아 나들 심신 대장 내가 매비 심신 대 치다 내 가르치 트네 지기 나 마시 빠정의 지기 삼바 담자 숙치 뭐지 생각되는 영야들다 삭삼세리라.
So this extraordinary intention is an attitude that observes, thinks about suffering, sentient beings, living beings, and feels a great determination to do something about it. I myself will alleviate this suffering. So it's a very strong altruistic determination.
저 삼바다 닌지 니 디고르데 삼베 문바 잠데 삼바 문 문남자네 심진 담제 내쇼 심진 담제 동한 메쇼시데 문바 잠나와 문바 잠 많이 바단 죽고 죽도 값을 심쇼고 토니 아니 락삼데 장데 자네 아니 파신 돌을 레기는 로고도와 락삼고 심쇼를 띠네 심진 든지 동한 최대오나 삼배 담보 디 심진 되나 동한테 탑신의 시긴시 야랑 아니 무슨 짐바땅 즈바곰 아니 준비 파신 쪽에 참아 칸이 시대와 자마이 무슨 가요 라요 삼바도 조안이게 삼배 재미 이제 조에 파로도 심바 두고 라린다는 거야 돼.
So this is the point where it moves from thought into action. If we just remain wishing, praying for others to be free of suffering, causes of suffering to have happiness, causes of happiness, what happens at this point with the extraordinary intention, with this determination to do something about it, then what would we do? Well, we would move into those perfections of the practice of giving, generosity, of non-harm, of patience, and perseverance, and so on. So actually putting it into practice, thinking of, well, what can I actually do to bring happiness to this person, to free them from suffering, and so on. So on the side of the mental attitude, we have the 4 immeasurables, and on the side of conduct, we have the 6 perfections. So it's like 2 wings of a bird, which are both very important to be able to move, for the bird to move through space. So Dharma is not something to just talk about, it's something to implement, it's something to act upon. And in case of Mahayana, what in particular? Benefit of others. What can we do to help to benefit others?
Dege sambata ninjes laksam. Ta laksam di simshu ke jolati sambata ninje laksam ke simshu sambata ninje laksam di sum ke jolati ne ani rembe ji de nyamni se de se na ani nam yik ani ta sanju ke simsi ya de to ba de ji ai yu.
So with these 3 acting as the cause and the foundation, the love, compassion, and the extraordinary altruistic intention or determination, and cultivating those and strengthening them at some point, then it will turn into the realization of bodhicitta, heart of enlightenment, the spirit of awakening.
Now
we talk about bodhicitta, or this heart of enlightenment. There's a conventional side to it and an ultimate. There's 2 types, relative and ultimate types.
Sabata ninji ti ko te kunzup sanju sin jana ndike do wasi.
So we could pretty much identify the relative or conventional bodhicitta with the love and the compassion.
Ta dendang sanju sin se ya de. Ta nga sol goya de dendang sanju sin ko yu da. Kunzup sanju sin ta chi. Sabata ninji ji mola jawa ta simzong ko thoni. Te da le la wora. Ta dendang sanju sin se ya de. Ta dendam sanju sin de kan de chi yong ko chi na. Ta rimbe ji de den de chi kom de se de. 아니 돈이 그 나와서야 돈. 남지 가도 돈이 그 나와 출연 그 줄라 돈나야 뒤니 모델 안에 또 나가서 안 주세요.
So we really need to realize ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimately, finally, we need to realize ultimate bodhicitta. The relative or conventional bodhicitta of love and compassion is relatively easy to cultivate. It's a dualistic kind of thought where there's an object, conceptual thought involved of wanting others to be happy, wanting to bring happiness and the causes of happiness to them, wanting to free others from suffering and the causes of suffering. So there's a subject-object duality to it, and it's a thought that's being held in the mind. Whereas ultimate bodhicitta is when we realize emptiness, when we realize shunyata. So when we realize that absence of duality.
So
we won't go into talking a lot about emptiness today. That would take a lot of time.
Tate Shindan Devak. George Badi Atasha. George Badi Atashaka, George Badi Atashaka.
Papa told me, Marwa.
Mari George Badi Atashaka, they told me the Majubarwa. Told me the Maju, George Badi Atashaka, and Loxotate. And there is Jim de Menga, Dulatine, Sambata Ninja Candisin Yamis in Dogoyoba. They Marishiba, Tin Timba, Tin Zoa, Yonga Samba, 7 Ninja, Laxam, Sancho Sim, and it only Katawa. 다 지금이네 지금은 영화 준대가出的些个的话 마르시바 딘딘바 딘조와 이용거 삼바 제베닌지 아니 락삼 아니 산초고셈 돈이가 나왔대 르베신데 준대가 出的다 14위고네 다가 남준 삼로도 다한테 뒤고 그 세네 빼 빈보 요거도 그 릭바라와 릭베 빼직 준대명 아든데 빼 세네 빈보로 요거도.
So this is that method for developing love and compassion in the tradition of Atisha, descended from Arya Sangha. And so be aware that this is the kind of progression, the procedure in the meditation, starting with recognizing beings as one's mother, one's very close relative relation, then remembering their kindness that was been received from them, and then cultivating the wish to return that kindness, and then from there moving into a meditation of cherishing love for others, and from there into the meditation on compassion, wishing beings to be free of suffering and its causes. From there into that altruistic determination to do that, to accomplish the intent of the love and compassion, oneself, by oneself. And then from there, moving into the conventional bodhicitta. And from there, then into the ultimate bodhicitta. From there to the realization of selflessness. And so this is the progression of that meditation, how the stages of the contemplation, they're really cause and effect. One step gives rise to the next. The experience of one stage then leads into the next stage, and the next stage couldn't develop without that previous stage, which acts as then the cause for the later stage. And I find these, I really think about these stages of this meditation a lot in my own practice, Rinpoche says. And it's logic, it makes sense. It's very, very beneficial to the mind to go through these kinds of contemplation.
Dege 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 Lochö. That Tinichon Jase Shiva Lak Lochö la. That Dajin Yamba. Dajin Yamba. Dajin Jiva. And it Dali Jinjisine. Tangeta Kondo Shiva Nanji. Rang that the Devanduba. Rang that the Dohamanduba Chivaris. And it is simply now. Dewa the Dindu Chiwa, Dunga the Tandu Chiwa, Rang that the Chiwa in the Jane, near some yin the Karis in the colony by Chiguris. That Jimmy the Nichility in any. The Saint Bishwala to the Sogodoa.
Then in the other method, the other path, coming from Venerable Shantideva, is the method of equalizing self and others, exchanging self and others, and then cherishing others by oneself. So this is following along kinds of things I was mentioning before, of thinking about how all other living beings have exactly the same wishes as oneself, wanting happiness, wanting to be free of suffering. And so contemplating that and bringing that into one's awareness, then the question would arise, why then would I ever harm this other person? What sense would that make?
Oh, the name is the Simchi Donghad not the Simchi Tenala, and it Tata Kondo Shibanaji Yang, Sambata, Ninja. And it Laksam, Tindisikon.
And on that basis, then we move through the same stages of the other meditation then, with the love, compassion, the altruistic determination, and then bodhicitta. So it ends in the same way.
The Mamboji Drassi and the Chita, Narangichi, Nekapchi Larwachi, Mandupa, Drassinachi, Narana Magawachi, Naran Kanza Rangawashita. Chicks in a Norsi. Penanga Magana chicks in the Notra. Tandrichi Narang Kanza Rangawashila, any Megayodun Tonsala, the old Mazoma Iduzani, any Lamsang, or Teraya woman, don't not tell a Gawamisine, Chilamsang. That is the Bishop Zongli Sita.
So sometimes if someone thinks about a person as having harmed them and thinking that they're an enemy, then one thing we need to reflect on is that we ourselves are an ordinary person. And so just because we perceive someone as unlikable or bad, that doesn't make it so. It could be something that's just coming out of us in our ordinary afflicted state where we perceive them that way.
Yabo Maris. The name to Tane, you're the Nichig Simchi, and Nichi Numon, that control talk Ju Lang Deli. The Nichi Imbaina, and it Lawad around the Ziba Gobsa, that part of the simple truck Seate, passing truck Lamla Martine, Maso Sanji Sakachi, the Nangchen and Sanji Messi Shakura. The end to Tane Georgie Party at the Shake. Jani Purlama public officer. Tangé Kadu in the Shiki, Pelpebde, and the beauty tissues like Kidashia. Atara, Kashika Atara, Kasik beauty. Koranka the Digi corner, Pur medicine Meshika Zamboris. Metama Shika Zamboina, and in Naranga Junichi, Zuba goes yonder to you, Marwa. Zuba goes to Yurtel, Medokajin of the Degora. The name is done. Comes on the beauty to the teachings of Buddha, Kalena Azara, and the teachings of the share.
And and remember, too, as I mentioned, that when we see someone who is tormented by their own mental afflictions, it's a cause for us to have even more compassion for them. And it is that opportunity for us to practice our patience, which as a spiritual practitioner, we definitely need that opportunity. Once we've accomplished the 6 perfections, then we're already a Buddha. We're already enlightened. There's no need to practice them. But while we're on the way, there's a need to practice them. And so even great masters like Atisha, when he came to Tibet, he intentionally brought someone to aggravate him. He said that everyone in Tibet is so nice, so cheerful. There's no one here to try my patience. So he especially brought an attendant from India who was very bad-natured. Some people called him the ape. Some people called him the fool, the acharya. But Atisha had brought him specifically with him to Tibet in order to have someone that he could practice his patience with. So love and compassion is something that's not just important for Buddhists. I really feel, that for everyone, all beings in the world, need this. Maybe we should start a new religion called the Love and Compassion religion. We call it that. I think that'll be.
Because His Holiness is my religion is kindness. His Holiness Dalai Lama says, my religion is kindness.
And I'll just add one word here, being bold myself. We had a little conversation before practice, and Rinpoche was asking me if I'm going to be here on Monday, and I was saying, I think sometimes, Rinpoche, it's really great for you to just exercise your English, because there's one thing to hear the meaning of the words, through an interpreter, but I feel that the sense that you get from just Rinpoche's own direct speech, you can get a whole lot from that, probably even more, just the feeling, the example. And I just wanted him to, please let him know that, that you can learn from his direct vibration just as well as you can. Of course, when there's complicated things, then I want to be here whenever he wants me to. Whenever he wants me to, I want to be here, of course.
My English is only 5 minutes. That's it. But come back and hear it. 다 되게 된대지세. 나 삼바든 인지 나솔라 매나 너 가려 연거요래. 요나 잡벨레나 피노 가려요래. 다 티코르 삼모 타야게 진보래. 무유 내처 무토 내처 그다다. 매근 통사를 유죠. 무유 내처 토네.
And it's also really important for us to contemplate, what the world would be like without love and compassion. What are the problems? What are the faults that arise for individuals, for societies, when there's a lack of love and compassion? What are the benefits that are there when they're present?
다 티산 잠벨인디 강나 다 자캅 다 망부지 라 다지 만토당 아니 자캅 치치게 춘총라 아니 투초 다야당 와 치산이 자캅 충산이 아니 롱바 아니 디 난치니 아니 베나 소수 마창가 낭네네야 치 다지 콘토당 라만다지 라마시와키치 참아데 삼바든 힌지 미비 준작 용거 요리시.
So the unfortunate effects of lacking love and compassion, we can easily see it's very obvious, the obvious reality that countries cause conflicts and wars with other countries, inside families. There's anger and hatred and harsh words and fighting. These are all the results of that lack of love and compassion. So we have a lot of experience of this, since the world wars, the Second World War, and then all the wars that have gone on since then. So all of these problems and pain and suffering comes from that lack of love and compassion. Everybody shigir, meet somebody shigir.
Yeah.
So everyone knows this. So, as we know that, and not doing something about it, is pretty shameful. So, so it's really the foundation for our world. Love and compassion, needs to be a very basic foundation for our world. So if one person has love and compassion, that will be beneficial to their family. So if there's one person in a family that has mental peace, then that will spread to the other members of the family. And if a family has that, then that will spread into the community and the city. So we can see this happens in our own experience.
Japa Rinpoche. Janggo Rinpoche and the China, the Gongla Dunchu Dunduni, the Shirera Kandan Dang Yapo, Kuzu Yambo Taron. Jimsing I in the same Baha people, same Jibo, and it's same Goyambo, same Jachimbo. Tangeta da Kondu Shiban, the Laxam Siate, Yogura, Sancho sing the Laxam Siate. The Nutchig good quality segora that chick same nipa chatawade chama the rich same tolong the chane any metela pe ranjing sim kuyambo tang any sim deo any ne na chami pa chirinwa ta mambochi yungo doasi.
So there's so many benefits of having love and compassion in our life. I can speak of, from my own experience. But if we think about His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for example, here he is, 77 years old now. But if you look at him, he looks so young, so youthful, so strong. And why is that? It's because of having a peaceful mind, because of having a happy mind. When you have love and compassion for others, it leads to this having peaceful, happy mind yourself. And and then, being that kind of influence on others. So it comes from having that strong determination, that altruistic determination to benefit others, to have that be the prime force in your life. And this is the kind of positive results that it brings, even for your own benefit, peace of mind, beauty, strength, and so on.
So there's
no way that we can buy these things from others. We can't buy love, compassion. This is our practice. This is we have to use our minds, use our awareness to develop these. So I don't think it's really that difficult for us to do. So how? Again, through these methods that I've explained of the sevenfold cause and effect meditation, the equalizing and exchanging of self with others, and working with these continuously, thinking about it. When we do, then we will have these aha kind of moments. We'll have insights that will rise to us thinking, oh, yes, that really is true. That is so true. And we'll get different experiences by contemplating and working with these meditations. So what is the reason? What kind of reason?
No. Why? I said why?
Okay,
that training goes on the nga se the pal lu dang ne yin se the chö dang de lang ne any go chi zog da chö da ji se ne right?
So what kind of sense does it make? Why? Because from time immemorial we've been self-focused. We've become very good at thinking about ourselves and trying to protect and work for ourselves. But what has it got us? What kinds of benefits, what kinds of abilities have we developed through that? Nothing. And so realizing that, then we go about this exchange, saying, okay, if that's the case, then I need to change something. What if I put myself in others' places? In others' place. If I put myself in the place of others, then there'll be a completely different result. So there's really, not so much difference between limited, ordinary, suffering living beings and unlimited, enlightened Buddhas. As I've mentioned before many times, this citation from Shantideva, whatever happiness, whatever suffering arises in the world comes out of selfishness. And whatever happiness arises in the world comes out of altruism. So there's no need to say much more. Just look at the difference between sentient beings who've been solely focused on their own benefit compared to Buddhas who become focused on the welfare of all others. So just look at the difference. So it's not very complicated when we think about it that way.
Otherity, stand the Lutin thing at the Zabili Gani, Tang Atun Zabili Yam the Dege, Lumban and the Tangu necessary, Tan Jambling on a Dege, Lumban Yam the Dege, Chiran Matang on the Dege, Matangte, Koyolatin, Koyote, Jakam Zabalenti, Takanda Zabalin Chimsanchi in the Dege, T. Deperina, and Chikichila Chibose, and then Chikichila Samba, Ninji, and then Chikichila Robase, Chifinchi Dose. This is Devanina and it keeps on. So she keeps on that.
So we have to live in this world together. Together in different countries, different cities, different families. We need to live together in families. So we don't have any choice about this. So if people can care for each other, take care of each other, then what great profit we'll get from that? What benefit will be received from that? Since we have to live together.
That's your da, Muntin Sosegora, and the G. Kunzing year, and the Gina. Tamambochi Samnotango Mari. Sambata Ninji the Samnotan Yavaina. And Dara Shiroya. Just Bishwalake. Satin Tamji Koyojang, the Ni Koya Kalalang. Lamter Tamji Koyne, Satin Tamji Yotandasi. Rang Jula Samba the Ninji Yuna. Problem Dajan and Mercy and the Sigamodoa. Samba the Ninji can Suncha take a Mercy to Godoa. Samba the Ninji can Suncha. And Zubaka Kochachun. Zubet Kochachun. Samba the Ninji again. Nangchen Adeu Rinpoche Sating Tamji Koyojang, the Ni Kowe Kalalang. Slamter Tamji Koe and Sating Tamji Yotandasi, just a visuality so they man the shit, Jana.
So, again, if there's someone who has a grudge against us, or we have a grudge against them, we feel like they're an enemy, meditation on love and compassion will just naturally dissolve away that enemy. There's no need to try to destroy them. As Shantideva said, covering the whole earth with smooth leather would be difficult, but by just putting some on the bottom of your feet, and you can walk over the thorns and everything, no problem. So, by arming ourselves with the love and compassion, by having a shield of love and compassion, then there's no more enemies. And
Ranaji Shwala Madati Chidin and Teso you are 37 of a practicing Bodhisattva. But that's a lalin subdemanani. Rangi Dang Dao Materna, Sro Dao Trishim Pavanju. There's a Shanta Ninji Mapungi, Ranjun the Rajasi Lalins.
So there was also that quotation from from Pablo Tome's 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas, which says that if I don't subdue the enemy of my own anger, then external enemies will only increase. So, by amassing the forces of love and compassion, then then we will control our own mind. We will subdue our own mind. This is the practice of the Bodhisattvas.
다들은 가르치는 삼바다 인지 냠는 시거리치도 내 람르지 지란서는 너르지 맞된 요리지.
So
람 니그 토네. 다들 자세 좀 비시와라 할 lokso 다진냐바 다진냐바 다진지와 달레 인지바시 람직디. 근데 저지 바데 아드 샤게 좀좀명하 등거니 람직디 람니르지드래.
So I've shown you two different ways, two different paths today to developing, enhancing love and compassion. The one system of Shantideva, of equalizing self with others, exchanging self with others, and then cherishing others, oneself. And then the sevenfold cause and effect meditation of Arya Sangha and Atisha's system of recognizing beings as a mother, remembering their kindness, developing the wish to return their kindness, love, compassion, altruistic determination, and bodhicitta. So these are these two methods for developing love and compassion.
Also, we don't talk. We do something. Now we going to the meditate.
So let's do it now with 5 minutes of meditation, applying ourselves to these.
Then this in a Nimarilani to Churana Sancho sin the Mubase Sabata Ninja Ticola Gom Tisijana and today's Nani Toya. I can't see the Vatamai, but you know the Nani. Oh, that is here they had to teach into Asamsa.
So if we take a few minutes every day to work with this meditation, then we will experience results rising within ourselves. Like I mentioned before, we'll experience the results of it.
The Niditani, that's Anchuk seems at the Pem Masin the Bachimbori. Any sausage unit, Digbata, Digdobian, Sanchuk Singataris.
The love and compassion, bodhicitta, are very powerful. On the one hand, for purifying our own negativity. It purifies whatever negative energy we're carrying with us very swiftly. And principally it leads to enlightenment mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta. And through this bodhicitta mind, we'll develop that realization of selflessness, the view of shunyata.
Ani Koranga Loma Sum Dromdeba Pachongwa Ngole Pishirap Loma Sum do Korana. Loma Sum you do. Any Korang Keja dinner, Loma Sum deck. Tambo Korang something Loma Yashu deck, Karichigo Nasam. Dromdeba Karichik and also do. On Dromdeba Gumba Chimboji Dan. Redden to Lakang, Be Gumba Zibodi Dak and all Siatis. Oh, yeah, so easy. And they did any Ngolo Tawa, Ngolo Karachikan City. Oh, Dan, Sloman, Tremambola, and Shushe the city. Oh, yeah, so. And they did that Koranka something they need the Yashu and Sam, so many. They Pachon was in that Koran Lomachi, that Koran distant the Yashu, and Tamadina. Take Karachikan City, take Karachikan City. That day, me long donjin and don and go zinc cup. And murder knows it. And the Koran Salah Tamachi to the Janderson. Then go Soma take a coach to Yas. Soma take coach, Jim Zinka, so what is now? That's about a ninja. Moyade, the ninja kitchen, Menchima, Mohura, the ladies and the song is.
So when the great master Atisha was living in Tibet, he had 3 students, which he considered his best disciples, and he was inquiring after them one day. And Drom Tumpa, who he thought was the best, he asked, "What is Drom Tumpa doing?" And the answer came, "Well, he's built this huge monastery, the Lhateng Monastery." And Atisha was not extremely impressed. He went, And then he said, "Well, what's this next best one? What's he doing?" And the answer came back, "Well, he's giving teachings to many thousands of students." And again, Atisha was not all that impressed. Well, then what's the third disciple, Puchungwa? What is he doing? And the answer came back, "Well, he's just gone out in the wilds, and he's thrown his robe over his head, and he's just weeping." And when Atisha heard that, then he with great respect, he put his hands up to his crown and said, "Oh, that's my one disciple who's really serving the purpose of my having given teachings." Why? Because he was crying out of love and compassion for living beings. And Atisha, seeing that this is what he was practicing, he praised it as the very highest essence of practice.
Okay. That's just try you now. Any questions? Yeah.
See what impact that English has on Krishna. Ginde menga dun.
Oh, okay.
Chasang hago mas.
Ngake Debjongji yore, fundamental teaching of Tibetan Buddhism. Ngake Debjongji teacher.
So the little book that I've written called Fundamental Teachings of Tibetan Buddhism, that's one place where it's Dinanola Joshi. So there's a pretty detailed explanation of it in there.
But I can tell you now.
But I can mention it.
Yeah, the Marshipa.
So Marshipa means recognizing living beings as having been your mother.
Marshipa
Knowing mothers and remembering their kindness.
Tinzoa.
And returning their kindness. Each one of these is a step of the contemplation.
Ani Tinba Tinzo, Marshipa Tinzo. Yonga Saba.
And the next step in the meditation is cherishing love. Then affectionate compassion. Compassion is the next. Then this altruistic determination, this selfless determination. Then bodhicitta. It's nature of great compassion.
Would the fifth noble truth be enlightenment? And can I give a definition and see if he agrees?
Kong Dempa Shi Zemo Shi Dempa Ngabadi Jangchub Dira Base. Okay, go ahead. What is it?
So the great nothingness is a paradox. Everything matters and nothing matters. So everything I do matters. Everything that's done to me doesn't matter.
Mi ngala garachena di ke chigmares. Ala mila garachena di ke chambores. That Ramidala.
Allah.
Did Dunda
Sanjay Chomdi de ke deba yel chusha chura ki chik nimba jadu chura America Sanjay injurida.
Oh, adding a fifth truth onto the Four Noble Truths must be an American Buddha here, right?
Yeah.
How does this work with nature?
아니, Rinpoche, 다 지게기 미 mambo 다 Zumbling brown la gabo yorwa, nature se yorwa, shing dan, tak dan, gyatn so dan, so zambala gabo yorwa. Ta nambe chu dan di la drawa gari yore, gari yores.
Nature. Ranjin la.
Kaya mi kaji la, ala nga nima la gabo yor, nga dawa la gabo yor, nga ta shing sep la gabo yor, nga gyam so dan, deso la. Kozo chudabo chegi yorwa. Ini 그럼 남배 주단 디 려월 간 컨텐츠 또. Because the environment 이거 뭐 딱 yorwa. 유코스야.
나 요거춘 고역 순접 산지 좀 되게 고역 순접도 걸라인데 같이 뭐야 가서 남부 주에 걸라. 봐.
그래서 심지한데를 땡.
심지들을 띵 거요라. 내 선녀가 이제 띵 난주가 심지시 니셔요라. 다단 잠벌이 10대 당시야 돼. 고역 주벌 말아. 10대 동행도 소리를 말아. 근데 이제 뭐 10대 매나 고역 10대를 놓고 말아. 근데 이제 자네
So they're very much interconnected. You know, the living beings don't live divorced from an environment. You know, they depend upon their environment. And without care for the environment, you know, there can't be happiness for living beings. So they're very interconnected and related.
How can we encourage loving kindness in those around us if there's strife in our family, or how can we encourage others to practice loving kindness with each other?
Any ngatu nangmi mitsang nanglola. kiam de gabi yuna. And mission that desola young jumpa chiya tashi kande chegoras.
The Labsa Jarwa. Labsa de Ja. Jetang Arang Yabochi Deva ina. Narang Yabochi Yua ina. Madaranji Najira younger jingle. Koran Samon Kola. Koran Samon Kola. Naran Namachin and Yabochi Matandina Dena. Quitel Mcpetana or cotton the Yabochindo, called Masu Pacheti Gila follows in the cottage younger jingle. That the name is a social money of what she had the package.
Okay, so of course we can talk to them, we can give them advice, but I really think that the primary thing is being that example ourselves. You know, that if we do that, then they will pick it up, they'll absorb it. So it has to start from within us. That's the most important thing.
David, I might have something to add to that comment. When we first met about 17 years ago, there was quite a bit of strife in my family. And through practice, Dharma practice, that strife has disappeared. So I believe, to answer your question, it's just through practice.
Pranging Yamyong Tone, the Hagosonsa, as an Emma, or Chip doing in Yella, Minsana, two Mammy Horis. You had no young Cheney, and she's sorry.
Yeah.
Given that even with the best intentions, our actions can sometimes cause pain to others, how does one, I don't know what the correct terms are, deal with that, cope with that, right those wrongs in terms of compassion and happiness when maybe an individual has hurt people, even through, again, best intention?
And it's something that's what Kono Yapo Chilane, like a chick che, any parable deal nuggeres, something. Any dealers, some locandes, tangodes. Some locandes, tangodes. Netso dealer, not so some, not so Kono Yapo. Cheney and not so mill nuba kies on.
Alle Tete Tabi Marriage, Singi Walla Niba means on here. Churang Mune, Kono Nabata watch, Kono Yabotis in the Kondogona, Parjotella, any taken the Basona, Tate Tabshikan you master. Singi Walla Niba means. Because sin number of Banganga, Sin Givachi, sin number of Givachi in Royuna, Niba means on here.
Okay, well, the thing to do is just to keep the positive mental intention, because even if our words or our physical actions have harmed someone, and there may be nothing you can do about that at times, but keeping the beneficial mental intention, that will never be harmful. Even though you can keep on wanting to do it, keep on trying to do it, that will never harm them. Sometimes, yes, it will happen that mistaken actions of words or physical actions will, harm another person, even with the best intentions. But keeping the mental intention pure and keeping that beneficial intent in mind, that will never be mistaken. That will always, it will never harm another. So he's saying that's how to do it. Stay focused on the positive mental side of it. Keep the intention even if the actions go awry sometimes.
Is it possible, I try to think about the higher calling I have each day. I was wondering what the thought is about that. In other words, I try to come up with a kind of a mantra for the day that speaks to what's going on and how I can be part of creating something higher order in that day. Just wondered what your thought is about that.
Nima sevekala, shogela. ngarang mitsel kupa toshe yakshadi gares sanlo tangi dekora chik kalachik naronas
알레 쇼가 야 라니 갑스
ngarang kupa toshe yakshadi misegi dundal yakshadi gares
다 나한테지나 남바가 주바지 근데 상로 당와이나 쇼가 야 라니 갑스 꾸농주 다치 카르당 그 니모델라 사와당 지 내가 간의 정도 대 인도가 치도 정도가 면도 타는 나고 물람 타준 주데 득바가 소는 로도도 면도 물람 나는 개와지 소유와이나 지 인도가 치도 인으로 와스야 인은 핀다야 물라는 되지나 아니 가와도 좋아시 아니 쇼가 야 라니 갑스 대다 찹직도 아니 드랭기 니모델라 다다는 고종대선 아니 고농 주다 봐 인도가 치다 드랭기 멋체데 드랭기 니모가 멋체데 도공처 말해 봤다 뭐장보지 인핑이 치다 인의 핀다야 인의 핀 마토나야 인의 자완이 너무 지와지 다 남부주가 돈이 상로 당와이나 되지리지.
So as a Buddhist practitioner, in the evening I would review the actions of the day and see how they went. Were they beneficial, positive, negative, and I'd make prayers to do even more in the future. But then especially getting up in the morning, which I says is a very important part of my day to adjust my motivation. And so, it really comes down to, what can I do to benefit others? What can I do to help others? So that's the emphasis of it. What will I be able to do today? And then on top of that, if even if I can't do something to help, at least I won't harm. I'll try not to harm others. So, what other kinds of details you might add in within that? That's the basic framework of it.
Yeah.
I loved the image of the bird with the contemplation and the practice. What could I be most curious about to keep the bird in flight?
아니, 자 쇼바 니 프로도야. 봐. 조질러 상로 세미시 아니 조질러 조아 발진 룩 내 니자가 그러와.
네네.
다 디게 낭네 넨텐 가르치는 이야기です.
라.
소 가르치는 이야기です. 남 자디 살아 바야 데 야부 말와 살데 불도 그러와. 사 불도야라 가르치는 게 제시です. 그런 curiosity 생각나 가리콜라 선로 탄나 약시です. 되게 낭네 조어 세메시다 발진 룹낭
벌써 조그나네. 다 가래 주랑 그 누베 쫑고요나 빼나 준바 츠tum 즈바 쭌르 something 시랍 바로도 심바토 아니 삼바 닌지 가와 따뇽 삼베손이 예 요손이 조 다데 가래 가도 주랑 남죠 그래지 가래 주랑 누바도다 제당 추세야 돼 뉴몽고 니보도 감바가 말다 뉴몽고 니보도 빼나 가란 빼직 신나 침보다 지로와 빼샤라 가온다 빼샤 딴 땡지미나 인지미니 거 떼고 다 좀 봤단 거래 지 가슈스야 돼 나랑 레라슈치 리야도 말해봐 이네 거 뉴몽고 님보는 로고라 빼는 앙아 잘 침보지 있으면은 인지미니 거 삼바 공고라 인지 공고라 대인데 거 딱 주랑 캄는 가른 들고 어떤 시고 있다
Okay, so on the one wing we had the four measurables, the intention of love, compassion, equanimity, and joy. And on the other hand, we had the six perfections, or the other wing, the six perfections of generosity, ethics, patience, perseverance, meditation, and wisdom. And so in general, what you could do is out of those, you could feel what resonates with you, what you feel most attracted to among those to practice. Out of the different perfections of generosity, of patience, and so on, picking out the different ones that you feel. And Dharma is actually meant to act as the remedies to problems that we have. And so, if for instance we have we find it difficult to give, then we definitely need to practice the generosity to keep the bird in flight, right? Or if we're angry, if we find we're angry, then we definitely need to work with the compassion and not wanting to see others suffer, wanting others to be free of suffering and causes of suffering. So, it's a matter of seeing what we need to work on for one thing, and choosing those areas to emphasize.
Fun to fly with you both.
Okay.
Offer a dedication of prayer.
Sunande damje sebani domne nimbe danan pamse jega nanche balam tombaye seben solen doa Chushe bale somaye gewa dage kando bade jiwo damje je deshe shira doba sho sancho sincho rumbo je maji bana jije je jiba nyamba meba konde konde pewa sho.
Malaysia, you'd love to do.
Oh yeah, okay. Then the loni the june, ani nga ke yone na mathol de Malaysia ke loma khashi je ke khasan de ta yus, ani chiran zu then nga thong ko yuri de de jane, ani thong ko yuri de ba yu, tu ko yuri de ba yu, ani de de jane nga sun jo po Malaysia ni, je da chop na to yong. So I
want to give a special greeting to my students in Malaysia and other places that are watching today, and pray that we'll be able to see each other and meet again soon.
Amen.